I've been wanting to make myself a block pattern for a very long time now, and I thought this is the time to do it. I've been making a lot of costumes lately, like a lot of costumes, and I think it's time to jump back to my like wardrobe and make some like practical items that I can actually wear every day. And I don't want to rely on pattern, so I thought, let's make a bodice block, and then we can alter and make any pattern we want. And if you don't know what a bodice block is, it is a very simple pattern that fits you perfectly. Like it should feel like a second skin. And then you can use this pattern to draft other patterns. We are going to be starting with a pattern that I found on Etsy, and I'll link it below, but I have it drawn up. The original pattern does not come with seam allowance, which I would have known if I had read the instructions before I traced out the pattern, but I didn't, so I had to do it again. But now we have seam allowance. Once we have the first mock-up made, then we can do the like pinching and figuring out the fit, transfer it to another pattern, cut it out again, see if it fits, make any adjustments there, and then we'll make one more just to make sure it fits. And then hopefully that'll be the last one. I really don't want to make more than 3. I want to make 2 pinafores. Why 2? No particular reason. I just want to. I love pinafores. I think they're the perfect dress because you can layer them on top of other shirts and dresses and they look really cute, and then you can just wear them by themselves like in the summertime and it's this cute little summer dress. Love pinafores. So I'm gonna make 2 different pinafores. I'm gonna do one with a princess seam, so we'll alter our pattern to have princess seams, and then the other one is just a basic front. I have 2 beautiful fabrics. First one is this really thin wool. It's got a nice drape to it, and then I also have this, which is extremely thin cotton. I think it's a linen cotton blend. Both of these fabrics I got at estate sales. So if you want cheap fabric, go to estatesale.net, look at your local estate sales, go through the photos, find anything with a sewing machine. And we're talking like a sewing machine that people use, not one of those like, 1920 vintage sewing machines that just look nice in the corner. We're talking about a sewing machine that somebody has used. They will have fabrics and notions, and you're gonna wanna go there and hit them up because I have found some really amazing fabric. I got this, and there's like 7 yards of it for $1. A single dollar. And it's beautiful, and it's really nice fabric too. And the same thing with this wool. There must be like 8 to 10 yards, I did not measure, of this wool that I got for probably less than $3 for all of it. I said before that I'm not one of those people that goes to the fabric store and like buys fabric because I think it's pretty, but I am one of those people that goes to estate sales and buys fabric because it's pretty. But you can't pass it up. It's like, how are you gonna pass up $1 for all this fabric? That's silly. Oh, and obviously these fabrics that you get from estate sales or garage sales or thrift stores, wherever you're getting them, don't have the fiber content on them, so you don't know what they are. I can kind of tell by touching fabric what it is. But another way to do this is by doing a burn test. So you just cut off a piece of the fabric and then you do this safely. Put it on some tweezers or something and then set it on fire. And if it burns and it flakes away like paper does and is like ashy, that's cotton. If it smells like burnt hair, that is wool of some kind. And if it beads up and gets hard, that is plastic. You got yourself some polyester there. I recently saw a reel of somebody doing this gravity dye where they like hang it from a cup and then they put the ice and the dye in the cup and then it bleeds down, and I really want to try that. So we're going to do that with this pinafore. That's what we're doing today. So it's kind of a 3-parter. We're going to make a bodice block, make pinafores from the bodice block, and then gravity dye one of the pinafores. And I'm wearing this nice loose, very comfortable sweatshirt that my buddy Justine sent me over at Red References. She designed this, isn't it so cute? We're wearing this nice loose top because we're gonna have to take it off a bunch today. Don't get any ideas. It's not one of those videos. Okay, first off, let's cut out and sew up our first mock-up, and then we can talk about the fit, and we'll go from there. Let's go. Hi, me from the future. Yeah, I colored my hair. Listen, the process of fitting a block pattern took way longer than I thought it would. I was extremely delusional and thinking that I could do this in like 3 versions. This part of the video ended up being over 30 minutes long, and that was without like really getting into the alterations I was making. So I'm just gonna do a quick little montage of all the versions that I did, but I did record the whole process. So if you really want to see me go through the whole thing, all the different versions, every alteration I make, how I make those alterations, let me know in the comments. If I have enough interest, I'll release it as like a bonus video. If not, then the footage can like burn in hell or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyways, please enjoy the rest of the video.
We're gonna need a montage. Take some montage. Show a lot of things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every shot, show a little improvement. To show it all would take too long. That's called a montage. Do we want a montage? And anything if you want to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage.
The first thing we're going to do is trace our block pattern onto another sheet of paper to start our pinafore bodice pattern. We're not going to do too much to the front. We mostly just want to change the neckline. I'm doing this purely off vibes. Draw out a general neckline, cut that chunk off, take it over to the mirrors, see how it sits. Take a little bit more off until it just looks right. After I have the neckline the way I want it, I need to add some seam allowance to the neck and armholes. Onto the back. The back is where I want to add the lacing panels, so we need the back pattern to be in 2 pieces so that we have somewhere to put the lacing loops. We're basically giving the back princess seams. So we're gonna draw a line through the center of each dart, connecting them, and then we're gonna use a hip ruler to kind of round that part out. When we have it cut out, we're also gonna cut the darts off too. Now I know I probably say this a lot, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I've seen a few YouTube videos in the past on how to turn darts into princess seams, so I think I'm basically doing it right, but I guess we won't know until we actually make a mock-up and try it on. So now that we have 2 pieces that need to be sewn together, we also need to add seam allowance to those. And then we're also gonna add 2 inches of ease into the back center for the adjustability purposes so that we'll have something to like lace up and let loose. I stitched up the lining first to see how I liked it, and I've tweaked the pattern just a little bit. Mostly I took some out of the arm's eye right here because it didn't need to fit so snugly. And then I also took out the back. I took a chunk out of the back, and it looks really loose because I added those 2 inches of ease, and it kind of like, I don't know, it seems weird, but I feel like it'll be okay. I feel like I should trust the process on this one. I think it'll be fine. Neckline, I like once the outer garment gets sewn to the lining, this will come down 5/8, and I think that'll sit perfectly. I like the thickness of the straps. Again, both sides have seam allowance, so straps are about that thick, which I think is nice. This is where we're at. Leaving the side open because we're gonna put a zipper in the side. Now we're gonna sew up the outer garment after I recut it to make the adjustments that I made to this. Sew that up, except the only difference between this one and the outer garment is that we need to make some loops, some lacing loops. Also, on a side note, I very much dislike daylight savings. Or I guess I dislike standard time, whatever we're on right now. Listen, I hate that it gets dark at like 4:30. I guess technically it's completely dark by 6:30 now, but the sun's on the other side of my room and it's really dark in here and it's only 4:30. I have to turn a light on. I hate turning lights on. And then I gotta get out a completely different light and put it on a light stand if I wanna film again because the overhead light is garbage. Woe is me. After cutting a long, thin strip of fabric and sewing it together to make a tube, we gotta turn it right side out. I have a long hooky pulley thing, that is the technical term for this, but everybody has their own method, just follow your heart. Afterwards, I cut them into 3-ish inch chunks and then iron them down. I would swap these steps because it's a lot easier to iron one long strip than it is to iron all these like individual short guys. After that, I take my center back panel and decide where I want the lacing loops to be. I kind of just eyeball this for the general area and then use the ruler to make sure that they're evenly spaced. I base these down with the machine. And then after that, you can just sew up the bodice as usual, leaving the side panel open. I'm right-handed, so I'm leaving the left side open.
Bodice is done. Also, please excuse me for my voice. I know it sounds a little raspy. It's only gonna get worse. So, bodice is looking so nice. I can't put it on because there's pins in the arm, but in the back with our little lacing panel. Now we need to make the skirt for it. I originally said I was gonna make a circle skirt. I lied. I'm sorry I lied to you so much, but you know, what are you gonna do about it? I changed my mind because I wanted, well, for one, I need the lacing panel to extend down just a little bit more. Stop it. So I want to add another loop here so that it will cinch my waist properly. I still need to go through and hand stitch the arm's eye closed. I'm just gonna whip stitch the lining to the fabric and make sure that it's nice and tucked on the inside so that you won't be able to see it on the outside. I got distracted. We were talking about the skirt. The skirt is gonna be panels instead of a circle skirt. And I want panels because I want the lines, the stitch lines from the bodice to match the skirt. So we'll have a panel in the front that's between the two darts, and then another panel that goes to the side, and then another panel that goes from the side to the side back, and then a center panel. So there'll be 4 panels. I'm also gonna make pockets. Let's cut out some pockets, let's cut out the skirt, let's put it all together, because we also have to make a whole other dress because we still need to gravity dye it. So let's continue. We got stuff to do, let's go. Let's go.
For the skirt, I decided to go off script and just do my own thing without any guidance whatsoever, only using 2 measurements, the width of the panel and the length that I want the skirt to be. Basically, I measure each panel, then use the yardstick to mark off the length of the skirt, and then use a second ruler at the bottom for guidance and just cut away. I've done this before, but I can't remember what project it was, but I don't remember it going horribly wrong, so why not? Also, it's pretty low stakes here since the fabric was so cheap, but I don't really have enough to cut it again. So if I did mess up, I would have to start this project completely over, which would have been really annoying, but I was still kind of sick, so I was in a real like mess around and find out kind of mood. Oh, and since this is something for my wardrobe that I plan on wearing and washing, I need to serge or overlock the skirt sides.
If we've done this right, the top and the bottom should go together perfectly. So let's see how we did. We're only attaching it to the fabric, fashion fabric. So far, so good. I'm taking the time to roll the seams back and line them up perfectly. I don't want it to be offset at all. I want it to look good. After I sew this on, we'll need to install the invisible zipper. I'm really nervous about this. I have never installed an invisible zipper on the side with a pocket before. I didn't look it up on how to do it. I just kind of guessed. So this could go very wrong, and I might not have a pocket on that side, because if I can't do it, I'll get mad and just rip it out. Perfect. It's perfect. Let's sew this up and then figure out how to do this zipper, I guess, because I don't want to. I really don't want to. Ooh, we only thought we were gonna do something new today. I don't know how to do the invisible zipper in the pocket. I thought I could do it. It doesn't work. Can't get my brain around it. I'm gonna have to watch a tutorial. But that's gonna have to be in another project because I don't want to stop. I have this on because I needed to see if I could put it on with the side pinned up above the pocket, and I can, and it's totally fine. With the extra ease in the waist, and then with the width of the skirt, I can pull it over my head pretty easily. My arm is not in this hole because it still is full of pins. But look how cute! Oh my god! All the seams line up so beautifully. Oh, sorry, I should keep the mic closer to me. All the seams, I could put it here. All the seams line up really beautifully. This looks really nice. It's super long right now. Oh, okay, enough goofing. Let's put in just a normal invisible zipper. All right, let's talk about my lazy way of putting in an invisible zipper that looks fabulous. There's a few important things to remember. You have to press your zipper open. You need an invisible zipper foot, and you need to have a zipper longer than what you actually need by a little bit. And your zipper opening, like in your garment, needs to be slightly longer than what you want it to be. So after you iron flat your zipper, you're gonna lay it down onto your garment. Pick a side, doesn't matter. If you fold the teeth over, you're gonna put that on the seam allowance line. Pin it down, stitch it down, have a stopping point an inch before the end of the opening. So here's my dress. Here's the zipper, and it ends, you can see this. There's an inch of open space between the end of the zipper and where the seam starts to connect again. So after you sew that down, come back over, figure out which way you need to lay the zipper. I usually close the zipper and then lay it where it needs to be, because it gets a little bit confusing when it's open because everything's just kind of like weird. Take it back over to the machine, stitch it up, and now when you close it, it's a little weird because now you got this little like tail hanging out, but that's okay. What we're gonna do, we're gonna shove that in and then stitch this little hole up, and then that's it, you're done. I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to do an invisible zipper. If you want to do it properly, you can do all the basting and all that, but I am too lazy for that nonsense. This is great. I don't iron the seams flat. I just place it down and sew both sides with the zipper open. And then after I've sewn it on, I'll go through and press it so that it's nice and flat. But I'm telling you, it's so easy. So now that we have the zipper into this dress is basically done. There is some hand stitching that I need to do. I need to hand stitch around both arm's eye, and then I need to go through and hand stitch the lining to the skirt, and then the zipper, I guess, also. Oh, and hem it. Okay, I need to make a hem. This is looking really nice. I'm very happy with this dress. It looks really good. Moving along, we have a complete other dress to make. We'll change a couple of things with the next one. We're gonna give it princess seams on the front and back. So we need to draft a new pattern for that. And then the skirt, you know what? Since the skirt is getting the gravity dye, I'm just gonna keep it very simple. We'll just do the princess seams on the front, and then we'll give it lacing panels on the side, back closure. And we're gonna have to flat line the skirt lining to the skirt. Bodice lining will be done the same way we did this one. The black dress, I added 2 inches of ease for the lacing panels, and I think I'll do a little bit less. I think I'll do 1.5 inches of ease divided up between the 2 sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix the pattern and then get this cut out. I'm starting to get that sexy cough voice. Hello there. Does it sound like I've been smoking for 83 years? The pattern for this one looks a little strange because it's 6 pieces, but theoretically it'll work, it'll be fine. I'll sew up the lining first like I did with the last one, just to use it as a mock-up and make sure it fits right. I might lower the neckline on this one. Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna lower the neckline on this one just a bit, just cause I'm feeling saucy. This box full of dies. Very excited to get started on that. But I did not feel like doing the math to figure out what the waistline needed to be for the circle skirt. So I just took what was left of this really nice teal fabric and folded it in half and laid it on the floor and then figured out what the longest I could make a circle skirt. Does that make sense? You wanna try that again? And figured out the longest possible width I could make the circle skirt be, and went with that, which is 36 inches without the waist. Now I made the black dress 35 inches long from the waist, and it was entirely too long. So I think this will end up being just right. But now I know how much fabric I have left over. So this is all my scrap fabric here. Now I can start cutting this up into pieces and dyeing it to see what the dye looks like on this color. There's two sides of me for this part of the project where I want to be very meticulous because I'm making a whole dress and I don't want to ruin it. So I want to like make sure it's perfect and like test it and all this. But then the other part of me is just like, fuck it, let's just do it. So I'm gonna meet in the middle of these two guys and we're just gonna test colors, see which color looks the best, and then we're just gonna go for it. Okay, so I really want to play with the dyes, but we really need to make the dress first or we don't have anything to dye. It's just how that works. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do some test swatches because we need those to dry in order to tell what color they are. So let's do that now, I guess. Ready for science. All this stuff is, I can't talk with this thing on. This is stupid. Oh my God. Okay. All these are like a really fine powder and I'm already not feeling great, so I don't want to breathe any of this in. So this is soda ash that you put in the water and you soak your fabric in. Do I look like Breaking Bad? Anyways, you soak it in soda ash. And then how I'm gonna do this is I have set up my little tubs and I got a little piece of fabric and I also have a little piece of watercolor paper. And I'm gonna put some water on the watercolor paper and then put some of the dye on the top of the lid. So I know what color it is when I'm looking at these. But then I'm also gonna soak this, put it over here, put some powder on it, and then do that for all of them. I lost my little piece in there. But that way I know what the colors look like just on white, and then I can also see them on this fabric, which is what's really important. I'm gonna put my mask back on and you can watch from above. Okay, so here's my very sheer lining. It's a bit bigger than I really want it to be. Even with the like lacing panel, I'd have to like lace it this tight if I, like this much excess is here. So I'm gonna fix that. I think I'm mostly gonna take it out of the back. So I'm gonna cut some out from the back panel. There's a bee outside the window. Our samples have dried. I'll show you. Ooh, very cool. I think I really like this one and this one. And if you're wondering, wasn't there a fourth one right here? Where is that? Oh, that's here. In there, right there. See, that's where that one went. It was kind of a contender, but it wasn't my favorite, so I guess it's fine. Whatever, I'm not gonna make a new one. It was more like an olivey color, but I cannot decide which one I want. This one has the blue from over here, and that's why it looks like that. But this color is cool, and this one's also cool, and they look good. Like, this purple and this teal like really go together. So I don't know. So I have no idea which one I want to choose. This camera is entirely too heavy to do this, so I'm gonna put it back on its tripod. And I'm also gonna go empty this pot of muck dye water because I will kick it and it will end up on the carpet. So let's try to set myself up for success, okay? Get rid of that. I've marked in red where I want the neckline to be for this one, so I'm gonna add the seam allowance and then cut that away and then finish up this dress. The plan is that I'm gonna take the dress from the bottom and like scrunch it all up and then hang it from a jug and then put the ice and the dye in the jug so that it drips down from the bottom of the dress to the top. And I'm hoping to get some like really cool like streaks that go up the dress. So I don't know if I should hem it or not. I'm not gonna go through the whole process of sewing this dress because we just did one. And the only difference is moving the lacing panel to the sides, which you already saw. And that's it. I'm just gonna continue to look at these dyes for a while till I decide. It is gonna be very hard to choose. I am not great at making decisions. Art. All right, I have my dress, which is so cute, by the way. And then down here, you can't see it, hold on. I have a gallon of water with a cup of soda ash in it. And I'm gonna soak the dress in there and then throw it in the washer on a spin cycle. I don't know if I need gloves, but you know, can't hurt, right? Okay, I have my fancy macrame work here. I have my damp dress that's already been through the spin cycle. I'm gonna stick it through here, put a bunch of ice on it, and then put some dye on top of that and a little bit more of the soda ash, just because the ice is gonna, I don't know, I just feel like it can't hurt, right? I don't know. This in here. This dress is really cute. I hope it's not ruined after this. I'm gonna do the other things I said, but I have to do it with my face mask on. I forgot gloves. Pardon me. Okay, I guess I stopped recording when I didn't mean to, somehow. Okay, dress is hanging up. We got all the stuff in there. I put in the dye and some more soda ash and all the ice. And now we will see what it does. And I couldn't decide what color to use. So like a proper adult, I didn't make a decision and I had somebody else do it for me. You guys. And you all voted by quite a lot, actually. This color, E, which was Kingfisher Blue. So if this turns out ugly, I get to blame it on you. Also, hello, this is what I look like. I'm a gremlin. Okay, I'm gonna turn this into a time lapse and we're gonna see the dye go down in real time. Not real time, fast time. Fast time. Whatever, let's go.
Okay, my general feelings for the overall project are very positive. I do think this was a really good first try at this. I do think things could be improved upon. Okay, now let me talk about the individual dresses. I'm gonna talk about the black one first. I don't like this dress. Okay, don't get me wrong. I think it's a really cute dress. I can't completely place my finger on what I just don't really like about it. Maybe because it's black and I just don't really wear a lot of black, but I did make this specifically to wear to work, which this will be a great work dress. I'm definitely going to wear this dress. I just have to find a way to style it because with the way it is just kind of plain, I don't like it. I don't know. There's a couple things, like the way the skirt lays, because I did those, that weird paneling skirt where I had just pieces going whoosh, and I didn't really like measure or take into account anything when I cut the skirt. It kind of lays a little strange. And then in the back, I did end up doing two little tucks at the top to kind of help everything sit nicely when it's laced up. And I do need to take out the bottom laces that I put on the skirt because they look weird. I shouldn't have put them there. But this is a super easy fix. It's as easy as opening up that seam and taking them out and then closing it back up again. I mean, I do think it looks nice on me. Like it fits really well. I don't know. I just don't like it that much. Okay. For this dress, I look like a high school art teacher in this dress. And I mean no offense to high school art teachers. This is the kind of like kooky clothes high school art teachers in movies wear, and those like, you know, old 2000 teen dramas. I don't dislike it though. I think it's really cute. I love the way it fits. I love the princess seams. I love the side lacing. I think the color came out really cool, but I made a very crucial mistake when I was testing the colors. I did not rinse the color out on my test swatches. So those swatches just had pure dye on them. So they weren't the right colors. So if you want to do this and you want to do test swatches, make sure you rinse out your test swatches. It was very silly. I do love the way this skirt goes from like green up to blue. And it's really interesting because here's my hem that I cut off. So the teal outside fabric soaked up the green, but the white lining fabric soaked up more of the blue. And I just thought that was really cool. That it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. I just thought that was interesting. Oh, there is one thing I don't like, and that's right here. When I was putting the dye in the bucket, some of it leaked out, and that's how I have this right here is where the dye hit the dress, like the powdered dye hit the dress. And some of the dye separated, like the colors separated. And there's orange in that dye. So there's this yellow spot here, and it just kind of looks like a stain, which is upsetting. I love this green streak and how it came all the way up. That's all I got. If you want to see me go through the whole process of the pattern drafting, leave a comment below. I'm only gonna edit this video if there's enough interest in it. If not, it's just gonna die. It's gonna go onto my hard drive and I'll never look at it ever again. Either way is fine with me. It's very technical, I think. I mean, it's still me like chit-chatting to you guys, but there is definitely a lot of like technical bits in that. So only if you want it will I put it out. Let me know what you think about the dresses. That's all I got. Oh, I colored my hair. What do y'all think? I did it very impulsively. I woke up and was like, I need a change. And looked up on Pinterest and saw something similar to this and was like, yep, there we go. That's what I'm doing. went to Sally's. If you don't have a Sally's near you, it's a beauty supply store, and picked these colors out. I was nervous about this actually because I was afraid I really wouldn't like it, but it came out really nice. I really like this color. Both colors actually. That's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to show some support for my channel, you can subscribe, like, and comment. Those 3 things help me out immensely. So that's it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Ow! I've got to move that drawer. Ouch. Ah. Ouch.